Hello YouTube, this is Driver, and I'm going to be doing a bit of a fun video here. Well, not really fun, but I'm going to be talking a lot about why the ATF can suck midget dick, and it probably does, on their free time, and how they should be disbanded and classified as a terrorist organization. But I'm going to go through the legalities of putting a SB Tactical brace. This is the SBM4 tactical brace on a Mossberg Shockwave. Now this is a 12 gauge right here, down here. Everything's been safety checked. Nothing in there. And this one, same thing. Nothing in there, so we're all clear. Boom. Now, the first one down here, this one I've had some issues with. In terms of putting on the brace itself, sometimes it doesn't want to stay on there. Even with Loctite, you see on there, with Loctite, sometimes it just sort of slides its way out. It could be this cutie mount that I added here, not cutie, but the 2-point attachment thing that I added in here could be pushing it off or making it just rattle in place. But I decided that I'm going to keep that off. Now, I do realize that down here, this kind of turns this, at first glance, it turns this into an AOW, at first glance. Now, here we go, shoving the ATF's bullshit paperwork up their own asses. This letter refers to the Mossberg 590 Shockwave in regards to the GCA and the NFA. Now, a firearm is, let's see, their definition is having a barrel or barrels of less than 18 inches. Now, this would be a firearm because the barrel is 14 inches. So, looking further into this, the NFA defines any other weapon as weapons combination shotgun barrels 12 inches or more and less than 18 inches in length, from which a single cartridge can be made entirely from barrel, blah 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 blah. Suck my dick, ATF. You should be buried in a very, very deep hole. Now, let's say I gave a fuck about their bullshit laws. The total length of the Mossberg Shockwave without the brace there is 22.5 inches. Now that is over 18. Now, obviously, less than 18 inches in length makes an AOW. 22.5 is not an AOW. So, in my opinion, and I'm not a professional, I'm not a lawyer. If you would like to talk to your lawyer in regards to this very gray area, feel free to do so. But in my interpretation, this is good enough to still be a firearm. Still a legal firearm. When I picked this up, it was an other in the firearms category, so I still think that this is another. It came with the that weird ass bird cage, the one that's like this, and that felt horrible. But with just this, I love this compact little thing. Look at that. That fits in the frame without even me having to force my head all the way back. But I love how this feels, especially how compact and how awesome it is. I have a 6 Hour Romeo 5 on there, and I can't recommend this red dot more for shotguns. This thing is dead on accurate. This thing holds 0. It's perfect. It's shake awake, and it fits just as well. I added the rail on there, and this is the I added some side saddle there, and on top here is a little light, just for nighttime purposes. So all in all, this is perfect the way I love it. And because I had issues with this, putting it back on, because the grooves there are definitely, they could still work, but I know it's going to pop back out again. But I'm not going to buy a new one because it's impossible to find right now, because I think the ATF scared the hell out of SB Tactical, and they're just not selling them anymore. I mean, they're more of a rarity item nowadays, so I'm sure as fuck not going to buy a new one. But I'm going to keep this as is. In my own opinion, it's not an AOW. It's not an illegal firearm. And with the bird cage that they added, well, it'll be the bird head grip in lieu of a shoulder stock. Pump action 12 gauge 14-inch smooth bore, overall length exceeding 26 inches. Now, I understand the 26 inches part. I know that that gets into some really awkward territory, especially depending on your state. But since this was approved as attached, I find it hard to believe that this would be illegal as well. Now again, I don't care that much. I just wanted to, just sort of put the information out there and just see what you guys have to say. My 20 gauge up there has the same 6-hour Romeo 5 red dot. I'm going to put a side saddle on here, but I think I'm going to go with Velcro on this one instead, just because of some things I heard about the pens not being as reliable or as durable. I'm not sure, but I think I'd rather just go with the Velcro side saddle on this one. And I've had no issues with this strap because with this one, it's a 1-point sling, and that, you see that? That's Velcro, and that has stayed on there for years. That has not even wiggled out. So this obviously is perfect. I'm not going to do anything with this. But in terms of this, I don't feel like buying a new one. I don't feel like searching for a new one. And I'm not really going to take this off my property. I live on 6 acres of land, and my house is decent. So I shoot out back. My neighbors don't seem to mind, even though that they're a half mile away, and sometimes I go a little nuts. But according to the ATF's own paperwork, and regarding a firearm and in any other weapon, shotgun of barrel of having less than 18 inches in length, this is, I would say that this is legal. This is my interpretation of their own laws. Now, I do understand that rifles are 26, have to be 26 inches or over. I do see why they had the bird cage on there, because they figured that would be the same. However, that could be the same thing, but they approved this brace. They approved the brace together. Now, it doesn't make sense. So, it doesn't make sense on how, even if I remove the pistol grip right here and just put this on, even if it's, having to hold it like that, it would still be legal. So one or the other, it doesn't make logical sense. Now again, this is the ATF. They kind of make up rules as they go along. They go into work and they have their shitty coffee sitting in the break room, and they just type whatever they see fit. And whoever this moron is, I don't give a fuck. But when it comes to the Mossberg, I do love the fact that this was something that SB Tactical drew up and made it a lot more comfortable to fire. I love it on my 20 gauge, don't get me wrong. Fuck off. I love it on my 20 gauge, don't get me wrong. But I do love how compact and small this is. Now, like I said, when it comes to the legalities, I'm not exactly going to take this off my property, because I don't really have to. But if I did, I'd go with the 20 gauge. But the 12 gauge, I think as is, as long as I keep this nearby, who cares? I mean, I certainly don't give a shit. And I'm pretty sure most of the people watching are either curious. I mean, obviously with the laws in your state, some states are not even allowed to have these. You still have to stick with a bird cage, which, again, if you're living in that state and you vote Democrat, I have no idea why you're on my channel, and I have no idea why you're watching this video, because obviously you vote for, shit like this to happen. So if you're watching, fuck off. But I do think that this, as it is, could be an ALW, could be a pistol, I don't know. Probably not, because it's definitely over 18 inches in length. So I think that this, as it is, like I said, I'll be keeping that brace close by. This, as it is, works. I mean, who says that in the event of a home invasion, I have to use this? And, oh, sorry, while I was using it, this broke off, and, well, I mean, again, if it was a home invasion, I'd probably reach for my Glock 17 or my Frankenstein AR pistol, but either way, I love how this feels. I'll be uploading some footage of me shooting it, and I think this is great. Again, this is up to you, but I'm just sort of throwing the information out there, just sort of see, you know, what the feedback is and what comes back. But as long as you understand, you know, what you're doing, you should be perfectly fine. Again, this is up to you, but I would recommend just go ahead and doing it anyway. Well, thank you guys for your time. Thank you for watching. Any comments, leave them down in the comment section. I'll be happy to read them. Thank you guys. Have a good one. Stay safe and enjoy what's left of the summer. Take care of yourselves. Have a good one.